Hey everyone, welcome to Coding Newton. I'm Newton, and today we are kicking off an exciting coding challenge where we'll be solving 3 problems a day from HackerRank, LeetCode, and Codeforces. For today's episode, we'll start with Codeforces basic problems and break them down step by step. I'll also guide you on how to approach coding problems effectively so that you can solve them faster and confidently. With today's question, we are starting with the most frequently asked interview question, LeetCode question 1. Don't worry if you are new to coding, I'll explain every single step so you get the solution perfectly. Grab your keyboard and let's dive right into it. Approaching coding challenges or coding problems. So the best approach is, first of all, read and understand the problems carefully. Mostly for LeetCode, the problems are going to be on your left-hand side, and you're expected to provide your solution on the right-hand side. You need to break down the problems into steps. And thirdly, you need to choose the best approach and optimize and write and test the code so you can run your code here. If it is right, you can submit your code here. In my other video also, I explain how you can connect your GitHub to your LeetCode. So whenever you make a commit on LeetCode, it shows on your GitHub repository as part of your commit history. So if you're in LeetCode, let's get right into it. So the first approach, we need to understand the question very well. So let's read the questions together. Question number 1. Given an array of integers nums and an integer target, return indices of the two numbers such that they add up to the target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution, and you may not use the same element twice. You may return the answer in any order. So first of all, before we even continue the problems, we need to first of all note down some key instructions which we have been given here. So one key instruction is we are not expected to return this same element twice. So that the first instruction, we are not expected to return the same element twice. Let's continue. So we have examples, we have been given examples, and as I explained earlier on, you need to make sure that you understand the problems very well. The problem, most of the time, you are going to be given some input that is going to be used for the test cases to ensure that you meet those requirements at the output. So this is example 1. So the example 1 is, we have been given an array of integers that is 2, 7, 2, 7, 11, and we are expected to get the target 9. 2, 7, 11, 15, and the target is supposed to be what? 9. So first of all, let me explain what this one means. So the basic explanation is this. We have this array of integers given 2, 7, 11, 15. We are supposed to get numbers from this array of integers that sums up to our target, which is what? 9. So we are supposed to get, for example, if it's 2 plus 7, or if it's 11 plus 15, we need to find two numbers that add, or we have to find the numbers that add up to what? The target 9. And not returning just the numbers, we have to return the what? Their positions. So the positions is the indices. So it was stated they return the indices of the two numbers such that they add up to the target. So in this case, we have 2, 7, 11, 15. So if you are familiar with programming, you will know that in programming, when we are counting, we do not start from 1, rather we start from 0. So let's look at something here. If you have 1, let's look at something here. 1, 3, 5, 7. With these numbers, if we are looking for the positions of these numbers, 1 is at position 0 or index 0, 3 is at index 1, and 5 is at index 2, and 7 is at index 3. So this is what in programming we mostly do, or it's mostly expected of us. The positions of the various numbers, we start the numbering from 0. So this is what we are going to do. So over here we are saying that the output was 0 and 1. This was because 2 is at position 0, 7 is at position 1, 11 is at position 2, 15 is at position what? 3. And over here, let's look at something here. We are, as I said, we are supposed to meet the target, and the target is at 9. So we are supposed to add the two numbers such that our target becomes what? 9. So in this case, let's look at something here. We have the first number, which is what? 2. So we can, simpler way of doing it, we can do 9 minus 2, because 2 is in the array of numbers we are having there, and 9 minus 2, we get 7, right? So once we get 7, we need to move into the list again, the array, to check whether we have that number, which is what? 7 in. And over here we have the number 7. So 7 is our position what? 1, and the we return the indices 0 and 1, right? If you didn't get it, let me take it again with the second example. We are looking for numbers that when we sum them up, we are supposed to get a target. So in this case, there are arrays of numbers, which is 3, 2, 4. And once we add the numbers from this, we are supposed to, two numbers from this, we are supposed to what? Get the target, which is what? 6, right? So this is what we are going to do. We can look at this also. Let's pick 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3, we know is 3. But let's go back into the numbers. Do we see another 3 here? Remember the condition which is listed here. We are not expected to return the same element twice. So 3 alone here tells us that no, we do not meet this requirement if we are using 3. So let's drop 3. Let's go to the next number, 2. So we go to 6 minus 2. Then we get 4. Do we have 4 here? Yes, we have 4 there. So that means what? We can use what? 2 and 4. But we are not expected to return 2 and 4. We are only expected to return what? Their indices, the positions where they are. So with this one, 3 is at position 0, 2 is at position 1, and 4 is at position 2. So the output for this one is 1 and 2, right? So let me explain again with the next point. So the next point, we have the example 3. We have the indices, we have the array of numbers 3 and 3, and we expected to get the target 6. So this is what we do. We have 6. If we take 6 minus 3, we get what? 3. Do we have 3 in? Yes, we have 3 in there. So this is 3. So the first 3 is at position 0 or index 0, and the other 3 is at what? Index 1. So the output here is what? 0 and 1. I believe you get this explanation clearly. I believe everything is clear to you. So once we understand the problem, let's first of all go using our approach. Let's first of all write down our logics. So this is our logics. We need to first of all consider clearly what approach we are going to use. So we are going to first of all, well, there are two approaches in doing this. The first approach, which I'm sure anybody might first of all use to tackle this problem, will be the brute force. So the brute force, this way is checking every possible pair of numbers. So we check every possible pair of numbers. we check. If in case it didn't get the target, we go again. What about 211? We check again. We go. So we're going that one. We check the pair of numbers. We go through using a pair of numbers to check if we meet the target. And with this approach, if you're using this approach map, so hash map is also known as dictionary impact. It is used to store numbers as we see them, right? So it's just like in this case, a large container where there are a number of values going to be stored. And in this case, when we say the complement is basically the target minus current number. So let me write it here. Complement equals target minus current number. So if you are using this approach, our complement in this case, for example, our target is to arrive at 9. Our target is to arrive at 9. Our current number is 2. So it means our complement is going to be what? 7, right? Our complement is going to be 7 in this case. So let's get right into it. Let's write down detailed logics so that we use that one in writing our code. You don't need to rush. You need to just take your time. Make sure you get everything done right before you start writing the codes. And mostly that's the best way of approaching your technical interview. Once you are solving, you need to make the interviewer understand whatever thing that you are doing, why you are using this approach, why you are trying to use this, why you are trying to do it this way, so that he get to understand the reason for choosing that particular approach. So we are going to be using dictionary. So we'll be using dictionary first of all for this problem. Then after that, each number that we are going to have, we are going to calculate the other number to reach what? The target. So we are going to calculate, we are going to calculate, sorry, what's other number we need to reach the target. So we are going to calculate what other number we need to reach the target. In this case, that is the complement. So that is the complement, what is up there. So that is the complement. So we are going to calculate the complement. Then after that, what else? We are going to check if we have already seen that complement number. So we are going to check if we have seen that complement number, right? Going to check to see if we have seen that complement number. Then if found, if that complement number is found, we return both indices. We return both indices. In case if not found, in case if we haven't yet found the number, we store the current number, current number, and continue. So we store current number and continue. Right, so now we have our logics down. You see, this one is in a plain English. So it's in a plain English for all of us to understand. First of all, we are going to use the dictionary, which in this case, the hash map. Since we have seen that that one is going to be able to store the numbers as we see them and also check again for the complement, right? So that we are going to use the dictionary. After that, we are going to calculate what other number we need to reach the target. That is the complement. We are going to calculate to see the number that we need to reach that particular target. And again, after that, we are going to check if we have seen the complement number. So after adding the 2 and 7, we are going to see if truly that is the answer to the target, meaning when we add 2 plus 7, is it actually equal to the 9 that is the target? If found, we return both indices of these numbers. If not, if these two numbers are not the right solution, then we store. If 2 is the first number, we store 2, then we continue to look for the next number or the next value we need to what? Reach that target. So once we have understood what the problem is, let's get right into writing the codes. Well, we are going to start with the dictionary. So in this case, I am going to create an empty dictionary. So I am going to create an empty dictionary. So let me write it up here so that you get the understanding still, if you are following me as I write the program. So this is the dictionary. Let me write dict to store numbers. So this is the dict to store numbers, sorry, and their indices, right? To store numbers and their indices. And this mostly is in the format, is in this format, the number and their indices. All right. And their index, sorry, and their index. So it's in the format. That's how dictionary is. It's in that format. So once we have our dictionary, we can then go. Next thing we can do is we can loop through. We can loop through each. We can loop through each number. Sorry, each number in the list with its index. Right? So we are going to loop through each number that is here with its index, right? That's what we are going to do next. Then after, we need to use the enumerate keyword to give us both the index and the value, right? So the enumerate, this is going to give us both index, that's I, let's use I in this case, index and value. So the value in this case is the num, right? So we are going for that. We said, so let's write a loop for that. So for I, num in enumerate, right, we're going to have num. This one thing about LeetCode, it doesn't suggest for you, it will let you write everything from your head. That's nice. So once we have written the loop to loop through each number in the list with its index, what we are going to do now is we are going to calculate. So we are going to calculate. Let's calculate the complement. We already know how to calculate the complement. I showed you that the complement is what? Target. The complement equals target minus the current what? Number, right? So that is the what? Complement. So let's write. So the complement equals target, right? Target minus the num, right? Mind you, the target is already declared here, right? So we don't need to worry about it. Then once we have the target, what we're going to do next is to check. We need to check if the, remember, don't forget this, we are going to check if we have seen the complement. So let's check if the complement exists in a dictionary. So check if the complement exists in the dictionary. Right? So that is it. Then if truly it exists, so if complement, let's write that to if complement, sorry, right? So we are checking if the complement exists in the dictionary. After checking, what else do? We told ourselves that if found, so if found, what do? We return, we return the stored, we return the stored index and current index, right? We return the index and the current index. So let's use the return, then complement. Yeah, I spelled it like that. Yes, we are not done. So we are not only returning the stored index, but also the current index. That's what we are doing. Now we have found, if the complement is found, we return the stored index and the current index. What are we going to do next? Now, if we also have to put into consideration in case it is not found. So if complement not found, what do? We store current number and we store current number and its dictionary and its index in the dictionary and its index, sorry, and its index in the dictionary and its index in the dictionary, right? I don't know today. My keyboard is trying to delay me, right? And dictionary. So what's my keyboard is actually trying to misbehave today. And so if complement not found, we store current number and its index in the dictionary, right? So this is the solution we have. Let's go through over it. It's a very simple solution. It's a very simple solution. What are we doing first here? The first thing we do is we create the dictionary to store the numbers and their indices, right? So the numbers and their indices. After that, what do? We look through each number. We look through each number in the list with its index. Mind you, they said an array of integers, right? So we look through those lists and its index, right? And after that, what do? We calculate the complement. The complement is very important. You get it because over here we did the calculation. We found out that 9, in this case, for example, 9 minus 2, the complement in this case is 7, right? So we do that. Target is 9. Then the number we have currently is 2. Then the complement is what? 7. Then after that, we check if the complement exists in the dictionary. So the 7 we have found, we check if it exists in the dictionary. In this case, yes, it exists in the dictionary. And if it exists, we return the stored index and the current index. So the stored index in this case is 2, right? Then we return again the current index, which is what? 7, right? In the case if the complement is not found, we store the current number, which is the 2, and we store that number in the dictionary. Then we continue, right? We continue with the next number. So we would have continued with next number, which is 11, to check it out. So this is the solution that we are having. Let's run to see if our solution will be accepted. If not, we will go through to check where the error is coming from. Yes, so currently they are telling us there's an error in the solution. They are saying the dict is not defined. Oh, so over here I didn't bring t. So what I need to do is I need to add a t to make sure that it's actually the same thing throughout, right? So in case you find, let's run it again. Whoo! So our solution is accepted. So let me go over again. So we create a dictionary. We store the numbers and their indices in this format. We loop through each number in the list and its index. Then after we are done, we calculate the complement, that the number we need to add up to the current number to get the target. Well, so this is what we have done. So this is the problem 1 for LeetCode. So once we are done, we now submit and it gets reflected on our, our GitHub repository. Well, to solve the two sum problem, it's a one pass, no nested loop, and interviewers actually love this. You get it? For the brute force, you would have used the nested loops, and at the end of the day, it would have run at O(n squared), which is too slow, right? So understanding this problem is very important. Understand the sample input to ensure correctness. You get it? Try as much as possible to understand clearly the problem. So what next? We move on to code forces. We will also try a problem on code forces. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment with your thought. Let's keep growing in this coding journey. Until next, keep coding, stay curious, and never stop learning. See you in the next episode. Thank you, and bye.